What are you at? It's Paul from Wicked Acorn. We're not live this morning, but we're live to tape. This is not 11 a.m. It's more like 10 a.m. And I'm going on a little day trip today, a little road trip to somewhere in the country. I don't know. I haven't really been informed yet, or if I was, I wasn't listening closely enough. So we're going on a little adventure. So this is live to tape, so I can't respond to your questions immediately in person, but do leave a comment. Uh, we are looking at the 11th of August in history today. And let's see, I still have to learn how to use this properly. So let's figure it all out. Today in history, it's the 11th of August, 1973, and the movie American Graffiti is released. Now, I didn't see American Graffiti when it came out, but I had the album. Or should I say, my mother had the album. She was in one of those record clubs, and they used to send out records every month. It's a George Lucas movie. It was directed by George Lucas and produced by Francis Ford Coppola. And it's got a lot of stars in it who weren't really stars at the time. There's Richard Dreyfuss and Ron Howard, who was a star, of course, but I think this is pre-Happy Days, is it? And Candy Clark, a very young Mackenzie Phillips, and Cindy Williams, who would be on Happy Days, and Laverne and Shirley, and a very young Harrison Ford makes an appearance in this movie. And this is what made a lot of us fall in love with American culture, the myth of America, because I don't know if this world actually existed, but it really is fun. I mean, this is what shaped my and there's Suzanne Summers, who just makes a cameo there. That's all she does in this movie. She's the blonde in the T-Bird. And Wolfman Jack. And the soundtrack just really made me fall in love with American music, that rock and roll American music. But another today in history is, and my computer's gone to sleep here. There we go. Is this guy, Steve Wozniak. Now, if you don't know who Steve Wozniak is, you certainly know what he did, or the results of what he did, because along with Steve Jobs, they formed Apple Computers. And we certainly know what Apple computers are, Mac computers and iPhones and all that. So it's really shaped our lives, hasn't it? That little startup computer company. And this was their first logo. And they were inspired by Isaac Newton, you know, the apple falling from the tree, the inspiration. But they were also huge fans of the Beatles. And the Beatles company, Apple Corps Records, Apple Corps Limited, or whatever it was called, was also formed today in history. In 1968, Apple Corps was formed. Now, when you start up a little computer company, a little startup computer company, and name it the same name as a Beatles company, it's not a big deal. But it wasn't long before Apple computers were huge. They were everywhere. I remember first seeing them, and yeah, they really took over the world. And so now they're on the Beatles lawyers' radar. And in 1978, Apple Corps sued Apple Computers for trademark infringement. And of course, it certainly is trademark infringement, but that's all foolishness, isn't it? But Apple headquarters was here at 3 Savile Row, and Savile Row is a noteworthy place in history because it's where the Beatles played their last concert on the roof. And let's see here. But it's not that there's the press conference and even a little HO train house, a model for putting your train set. But yeah, a lot of famous people have lived and stayed at 3 Savile Row, Apple headquarters. And one of the odd ones is it's the birthplace of the bowler hat. It's let's see here. It's the birthplace of the bowler hat. Fast forward to 1849, and 3 Savile Row becomes the birthplace of one of Britain's most iconic fashion statements, the bowler hat, designed by Thomas and William Bowler. It was originally created for a gamekeeper who needed a practical, sturdy hat that wouldn't fly off while riding horseback. And so the bowler hat was invented at Apple headquarters. And this guy here, very interesting, this guy, he's the man who burned down the White House. He's Major General Robert Ross. He lived at 3 Savile Row. The man who burned down the White House. Before Apple Corps set up shop here, 3 Savile Row was home to Major General Robert Ross. He's the British officer famous for leading the 1814 raid on Washington, D.C., during which the White House was burned down. And that's how it became the White House, because there was so much damage that they covered it up with white paint, and that's how it got the name White House, apparently. And another famous resident was the Duke of Wellington. And I guess that was when Robert Ross owned the house. So when he came back from the Battle of Waterloo, he stayed at 3 Savile Row. And of course he was, a national hero. There were crowds way bigger than any that ever came for Beatlemania or the rooftop concert for the Beatles. There were crowds, thousands and thousands of people outside 3 Savile Row waiting to get a glimpse of the Duke of Ellington after he came back from the victory at Waterloo. So that's just a little look at this day in history, but I'm going to look at another video. We're going to go to another video I did a while ago, because right now we are in August, and on August the 11th, you get this other video going here.
The BAF were forced out of France via Dunkirk in Europe.
So on August the 11th, 1940,
submission and invade.
We were
June, Winston
heavy into the Battle of Britain.
The Battle of France is over, and the Battle of Britain is about to begin.
38 German aircraft shot down over England today in history.
Hitler knows it will have to break his island or lose the war.
And there was a raid on
How does this begin on a modern
Portland and Weymouth.
Air superiority. And in
the British officially recognized the battle's duration, the Battle of Britain talking about here, as being from the 10th of July until the 31st of October, which overlaps the period of large-scale night attacks known as the Blitz, that lasted from 7 September 1940 to 11 May 1941. German historians do not follow this subdivision and regard the battle as a single campaign lasting from July 1940 to May 1941.
This gave the British the ability to detect German incursions.
So on the 11th of August, just 2 days before the Luftwaffe's full-scale Eagle attack began, the skies over Britain erupted. More than 600 German sorties hit coastal targets, shipping convoys and fighter defenses, testing RAF strength.
So they could only sustain
that's what they were doing. They were
before having to
just testing the RAF
German bombers
to see what kind of fight
After
they were
attacking
going to put
shipping
up.
in the Channel with the hope
So they were
of
testing
drawing
the
in British
strength the day
fighters
before
failed.
with feints
The
over
Germans
Dover.
began bombing airfields and radar
Fighters
stations
swooping in
mainly
to
on the
draw
south
British
coast.
squadrons
This took a
east,
huge
while the
toll on
real
fighter
hammer
command,
blow fell on
effectively
Portland and Weymouth.
blinding them in areas
Around
and
200
somewhat
German
denying their
aircraft smashed the
capability to
naval
defend
dockyard,
themselves.
gasworks, railway lines,
Hitler planned to
and oil
eliminate the
storage
RAF
tanks,
to such
leaving
an extent
homes
that it
destroyed
would be
and fires
incapable
raging.
of putting up
The
any
RAF
sustained
scrambled
opposition to
16
invasion.
squadrons,
The plan was
fighting
working.
fierce battles over the channel and
But
coast.
beginning in
Losses were
mid-August,
heavy on both
Hermann
sides.
Göring made a series
The
of
RAF
decisions
lost
that would
28
ultimately
aircraft but
lose them the
claimed
Battle
over
of
30
Britain
German planes
and
in
postponed
return.
Operation Sea Lion
Convoys in the
indefinitely.
Thames estuary and
Priority
off
was
Harwich
shifting away from radar
also came
and
under
eventually
attack
fighter
with
and
2
bomber
freighters
command
sunk by
entirely,
nightfall.
allowing the
Luftwaffe
RAF
switched
much-needed
to
respite.
harassing raids on Bristol,
Little did he know British air
Avonmouth,
power was on the brink
Liverpool,
of
and
collapse.
other targets laying
The
mines
Germans
along the
began
east
trying to
coast.
bomb the British
It
people
was a day
into
of
defeat.
destruction and sacrifice, but also
A
a sign
strategy
of the
with little
RAF's
military
determination.
significance. It would
The
inflict
Battle of
devastating
Britain was now
casualties
entering
among the
its most
population,
dangerous
and
phase.
thus the Blitz began.
Neither side was
Churchill
backing
marked the
down.
Battle of Britain with the words,
So the
"Never
Eagle
in the
Day
field of human conflict
which
was
is
so
2
much
days
owed
from
by so
now,
many to so few."
was
Britain was in
the
fact not
first
alone in
day
the battle.
of,
Roughly a fifth of pilots were from
the-
13 other countries.
what was it called?
Some had fled Nazi occupation,
Operation
and others
Eagle
simply
attack.
volunteered
So that was
to help
the
fight against them.
that was the big invasion plan. The goal was to cripple the RAF and pave the way for potential German invasion. So that was the test. This was the test to find out if the RAF were going to put up enough resistance, or what kind of resistance the RAF was going to put up. And I'm just going to play one more clip here of a video we did a while ago, and it's one I did about the men from Greater Manchester that participated in the Battle of Britain. I've since found one other that's not in this video. I haven't researched this, but this was a note I found on Stretford, Remembering Stretford Facebook page. And somebody was saying, I spotted this gravestone in Stretford at the bottom. It commemorates an RAF fighter pilot who died in the Battle of Britain. From what I could find out, the remains of Arthur Clarke were not found. So Arthur Clarke may be another person from Greater Manchester that participated. So we'll just play this video, and we'll get to our This Day in History photo to see who got last week's answer, and I'll give you a new one. Between July 10th and October 31st, 1940, about 3,000 aircrew served with RAF Fighter Command, earning the coveted Battle of Britain class. Sergeant James Allen Buck, a Hurricane pilot from Manchester, was among them. Sadly, his operational career was brief. In July 1940, after combat with German fighters, Buck parachuted into the sea near Selsey and drowned. He rests in Stretford Cemetery alongside his parents. Buck married Renee Broadbent in October 1939, and their daughter was born in February 1941. Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few.
"1940, the Battle of Britain. Kenneth Hughes Blair, born in Heaton Moor in 1918, joined the RAF on a short service commission before World War II. He flew Hurricanes with No. 85 Squadron in the Battle of France. On May 10, 1940, during Germany's Blitzkrieg attack, Flying Officer Blair downed a German bomber and shared credit for another. Blair received the Distinguished Flying Cross at the month's end. As a flight commander in No. 151 Squadron, he achieved further success in the Battle of Britain. Later, Blair commanded a squadron of de Havilland Mosquitoes, carrying out low-level attacks. He was awarded a bar to his Distinguished Flying Cross. Continuing his RAF career, he reached the rank of Wing Commander. Sadly, Blair contracted polio and passed away in 1953. He is laid to rest at Hatfield Cemetery, South Yorkshire. July 1940, Charles Harvey Bacon, a participant in the Battle of Britain, had a brief role in the northeast rather than the front line. If he had survived, he would have been eligible for the 1939-1945 Star with Battle of Britain class. Born in 1919 in Charlton-upon-Medlock, Bacon's family resided in Shawbrook Lodge, Withington. His father was a ship owner and shipbroker. He moved his company to Manchester in 1897 and later became a director of the Manchester Ship Canal Company. Charles became a research chemist at Oxford and joined the Oxford University Air Squadron. Later, he transferred to the Royal Air Force Volunteer Reserve. Flying ferry battle bombers at the outbreak of the war, he survived the sinking of the RMS Lancastria in 1940. Later, as a Spitfire pilot in No. 610 Squadron, he died in a collision during dogfight practice. Charles Bacon rests in Windermere Cemetery. Greater Manchester played its part in the Battle of Britain. Norman Bagshaw Haywood, born 1918 in Timperley, flew ferry battle bombers before volunteering as a fighter pilot. He served with 3 Hurricane squadrons in the Battle of Britain. His father, an RAF pilot, lost his life on the Western Front when Haywood was just a few weeks old. Haywood obtained a civilian flying certificate at Brooklands in Surrey before joining the RAF. On October 22, 1940, Pilot Officer Haywood, flying a Hurricane from No. 257 Squadron, engaged in combat with German fighters over Folkestone. Unfortunately, his aircraft was hit by friendly anti-aircraft fire, resulting in a crash on Romney Marsh. Haywood's body was recovered, and he rests in a family plot in Stretford Cemetery. It's July 1940 and the Battle of Britain rages on. Peter Mallam Brothers, a small man with a big impact, served as a senior pilot in 2 Hurricane squadrons during the intense aerial battles of 1940. Born in Prestwich in 1917, his family owned a chemical business in Trafford Park, and he attended North Manchester School. His father financed his flying lessons in his teens, and he was commissioned in the RAF at 18. Peter quickly amassed an impressive tally of downed German aircraft, despite not actively seeking claims. He played a crucial role in uplifting the morale of a demoralized squadron. Later in the war, Pete Brothers led the esteemed Tangmere wing of fighters. Decorated for his achievements, he retired as an Air Commodore in 1973. He often expressed gratitude to First World War ace Taffy Jones, who he considered his savior. Pete passed away in 2008. July 10th, 1940, the Battle of Britain begins. After the day's fighting, Churchill, deeply moved, said to his companion, "Don't speak to me. I have never been so moved. Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few." Edward Christopher Deansley, known as Christopher or Jumbo, flew a Spitfire and was one of the few. He survived being shot down twice into the Channel during the battle. On May 7th and 8th, 1941, he joined Greater Manchester's wartime history. Flight Lieutenant Deansley and Air Gunner Flight Sergeant Jack Scott, in a Bolton Paul Defiant night fighter based in Blackpool, successfully downed a German Heinkel bomber. The aircraft crashed near Hazel Grove, with the crew parachuting across Hazel Grove, Bramall and Cheadle. The crew was captured as prisoners. Deansley and Scott both survived the war. It's July 1940 and the Battle of Britain continues. Kenneth Roy Lusty, born in Sale in 1920, was one of the few, but he wasn't a pilot. Before the war, he worked in Manchester's shipping industry and in a cotton firm. Immediately after the outbreak of hostilities, he enlisted in the RAF to train as an air gunner. He earned the Battle of Britain class flying in Bristol Blenheims and got the nickname Lucky when a German bullet passed harmlessly through his sleeve. When we think of the Battle of Britain, we tend to imagine Spitfires and Hurricanes. In his later years, Ken Lusty was adamant that people recognized that not all of the few were pilots. He once rose passionately during a speech to reprimand the speaker for solely mentioning Battle of Britain pilots. Ken passed away in 2009.
So that was a series of shorts I put together. You notice they're vertical, portrait mode, is it they call it, and they're shorts. And back when I made those, it was during the start of the Battle of Britain in July. I commemorating it, and so those are the guys from Greater Manchester that I could find, and that one other that I haven't looked into since. But the shorts, I really didn't enjoy making the shorts because at the time you could only make them 1 minute long, and it was really difficult to get the story in 1 minute. And I didn't like doing it, but they've since uh, enabled you to make longer shorts. So I may attempt a few others of those. But we'll have a look at our snaps. We last week we had, let's see, where is that photo? Here we go. We had this one, and Rick got it correct, and Vince and Cry Bastion, and 1, 2, 3, 4. You were very close. I think I know the place you were talking about, but it's yeah, it's closer to well, it's here in Sale, isn't it? So this building isn't here anymore, of course, but the giveaway is the this dome here. That's the volunteer pub. So I think it was Cry Bastion said that his mother worked there, uh, moving car parts around or something. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, that's the giveaway. The volunteer pub there. So we got another photo for tomorrow. Now tomorrow, I don't know if I'll be here tomorrow, so it may be a different kind of live stream tomorrow again, but we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. So here is our photo for the next live stream, and it's kind of related to what we've been looking at here. And this is a photo of, what does it say down the bottom? I can't read that. Pageant of Victory, 1944. And right above that is a clue as to where it is. If you've watched this channel, you may recognize this place because it could be anywhere. I guess this is VE Day, the actual VE Day, I guess. And yeah, so if you've watched some of the videos on here and you've seen this particular one, because this could be anywhere in Britain, couldn't it? But it's not. It's here in Greater Manchester. And yeah, so I'll leave that one with you and see if you can recall where that is or make a guess at where that is. Now I have one more piece to show you, and this is something I came across a couple days ago, and this is the very first moving picture footage from a train in this area. So see if you can figure out where this is. So can you figure out where that was taken? It's the very first footage taken from a train at that location. So I'm told. So I'll just put the other photo back up there. Okay, go away, Salix. The there we go. There's our photo for. Oh, go away, Salix. Okay, so we'll leave it there, and I'm going to go get ready. I got to pack the car and get things ready. So I will see you in the next one.